Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at the Asus ROG Cetra True Wireless Earbuds. Now, recently the Asus ROG Ally has been released, which is like a competitor for the Steam Deck, and I have owned the Steam Deck, and I have recently moved over to the Asus ROG Ally, which is kind of what led me to pick up the Cetra True Wireless Earbuds. I wanted something that was made to kind of match the ROG Ally, and there were some features here that caught my attention. So we're going to talk about some of these things. We're going to talk about what comes inside the box, talk about the sound, but I want to go ahead and start with the price. Now, these do come in at $99, and if you've watched the channel for any decent amount of time, you'll know that there's some really good competition in this $99 price range. But is this earbud really geared towards audio as far as music goes, or is it geared more towards making the ROG Ally, some of its features, stand out and take advantage of that? So it was kind of something that I wanted to figure out, and I think by the end of the video, you'll see why I think, this is geared more towards one thing than the other. Now, as far as some of the technology, it does have Bluetooth 5.0, so it's not the latest 5.3 or even 5.2, but it does have a gaming mode, so you can switch it into that. That makes a huge difference in cutting down lag with gaming, movies, and videos, especially on your mobile device. But I will say that I used this with both my phone and also the ROG Ally to kind of see, again, what it was more geared towards. And it does make a difference depending on what you use it on. Now, as far as your phone, it does a pretty decent job of cutting down lag on all of those different types of media. But I still think with the ROG Ally, it's where it's strongest when cutting out any kind of lag. Now, this pair also has active noise canceling. It has what they call hybrid active noise canceling. And the noise canceling on these is okay. It's doing a pretty decent job of blocking out your surroundings, especially anything that has that lower tone, like AC units and engines and things like that. But if people are going to be around you and they're going to be talking, you're going to still kind of hear that like you would any pair of earbuds. So don't go into this pair expecting like incredible noise canceling. Now, some other things that the ROG Cetra has is Qi wireless charging, which I was kind of surprised to see that. And it also has RGB lighting, kind of. It's on the case when you open up the lid. You can see the ROG logo right there in the center, and it has a pixelated look, which I'm a huge fan of. But there is also lighting down the stem of the earbuds. Now, it only lights up once it's in the case and that it's charging. And it is actually nice that it has this because it's very easy to put these in the case and it not actually be charging. So make sure you see that light up, that way you know it's connected. And this pair also is using a custom 10mm driver that Asus calls their Essence driver. So this is a driver specific for this pair. It's tuned by Asus in a certain way that I do believe is made to kind of take advantage more of gaming. But again, we'll talk about that once we get to the sound. Now, moving back over to talking about the case and the earbuds. The case, I'm a huge fan of the look. Now, it is a little bit bulky, but it is a perfect match with my ROG Ally. I do like the way that the lid opens up, and you can see the earbuds, and you can see that they are a stem style design, and I do feel like the stem is a little long. I would have liked to have seen it be a little bit shorter. I'm just not a huge fan of stem style design earbuds anyway, so when I do have them, I just like them to be a little bit shorter and not so long and obnoxious. But I still like the overall look that these have. I think they're very simple. They could have been over the top with it being a gaming pair. Now, I have the white version here, but it's also available in black. And this pair uses touch controls, but I am sad to say that they don't give you control over everything. There's no volume control on the earbud, so all you can do is play, pause, skip your tracks forward, go backwards. You can put it into that gaming mode from the earbuds, but there's no volume control. And although these do work with an app, it shows you your controls, but it does not give you the ability to switch around your controls. So all you can do within the app is make sure the earbuds are updated. It does have some EQ controls, and there's a bass boost feature in here. You can turn on a surround sound feature on the phone, but this sounds like garbage. I don't recommend the surround sound mode on the app. I think it's trying to simulate something in a way where it just sounds so artificial, so over the top, and it just ruins anything if you're listening to music or gaming or movies. So this is not a mode that I recommend, so I would just leave that alone. But you can also switch on your active noise canceling. And again, if you want to use your noise canceling, if you want to block out some lower tones, that's okay. I will say that it is going to affect your battery life. So really, for the trade-off of the noise canceling not being that strong, I just chose to leave the noise canceling off majority of the time. Now, if you are going to use these outdoors, it does come with an IPX4 rating. Now, this is kind of normal with any earbuds that have noise canceling. IPX4 is always kind of the standard here. So you'll be fine against rain, splashes, and sweat and things like that. But just make sure you don't drop these into water. Now, as far as what they've included inside the box, you do get 3 sets of silicone ear tips, and you also get a USB-C charging cable, which is actually much longer than most USB-C cables that come with earbuds. You don't have to use this charging cable. You can just use a Qi wireless charger because the case on these is Qi wireless charging compatible, which again is a nice touch. But speaking of the charging, now, like I said earlier, if you use the noise canceling on or off, it will affect your battery life. Same thing if you're going to use the gaming mode, but if you use it with the noise canceling and the gaming mode turned off, you can only squeeze about 5.5 hours out of the earbuds and about 27 hours total using the case. But if you're going to use these with the noise canceling on and the gaming mode on, it's going to bring your battery life down to only like 3.5 hours and about 17 hours using the case. So it's quite the drop here, but if you do pick these up and they're dead, they do have a fast charge feature where a 10-minute charge will get you about an hour and a half worth of use. Now, if you're looking to use these earbuds for taking phone calls, I think the mics on here are doing a pretty decent job. I think it picked up my voice very well, and I think it did a really good job of blocking out some of the sounds around me. I would have liked to have seen it be a little bit better, especially because these are geared towards gaming, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here's the mic test using the ROG Cetra. And again, I think overall the mics are doing a really decent job picking up my voice. So this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so here's the mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. And the sound out of the box, I felt like was a little too boomy. I felt like there was too much bass. It was kind of overwhelming in a point where it drowned out the mids and the highs. So I definitely recommend going into the app and playing around with the EQ settings because they did respond to EQing pretty nicely. I was able to get a lot of details out of here. But I'm going to say that the best way to listen to these earbuds is using it on a PC. Like I was using it on the ROG Ally. I was able to get it to work with the Dolby Access app, and that right there opened these things up completely. Not only because I was able to go in and tune these just exactly the way that I wanted to, but it felt like you just had so much control over the sound. I was able to get these to sound so much different than they sounded out of the box. I was able to get them to have really punchy bass without it being too aggressive. I was able to have the mids stand out in a way where vocalists or dialogue always kind of stood out front. And I was even able to get the treble to be kind of bright. It doesn't get to the point of being harsh or overly bright. There's really no way to get it to do that. But you can get it to where you can easily hear details. It can have a crisp sound to it once you tune it a certain way. Now, it's still kind of aimed towards that Harman curve, where it's made to just kind of have that normal sound that's aimed at consumers, where you can have that boomy bass, you can have the bright treble, but you can also have dialogue or vocalists still stand out. So it definitely can check off the boxes if you're going to use it on a PC. I just feel like you don't have as much control when you're using it on a mobile device with the app. I still feel like the bass, no matter what, sounded pretty boomy, and I was never able to get the treble to be as bright as I did when I was using it on my PC. But the soundstage and the sound imaging I thought sounded great, and it does a good job of just, again, making you sound like you're in a very open environment, but it's really easy to tell where different sounds are coming from. So if I'm going to grade this into different genres, and this is kind of hard because If you're going to use it with a mobile device, it's going to sound different than it did with the PC. But overall, if you listen to pop or hip hop, I would give these an 8. If you listen to rock or metal, I would drop these down to a 7. If you're listening to easy listening or country mainly, where it's like vocal driven, I would drop it down even more to a 6. But if you're using this pair for media, if you're going to use it mainly for videos and movies and gaming, this is where I bump it up to a 9. And I think, again, this is because this is what this pair is geared towards. So my overall rating on these is going to be a solid 8. I actually really enjoyed using these for gaming. And using them for movies, especially on that ROG Ally. It kind of feels like it's made specifically for use for PC, and it's kind of a bonus that you can use it on your mobile device. So overall, if you're just looking for a pair just for music, I think you can find much better options in this price range. You can find better noise canceling, you can get more features. But if gaming or media consumption is like your main reason for buying earbuds, and if you're mainly going to use it on a PC, this is where I would highly recommend these. I haven't really experienced the same thing that I experienced with these and other earbuds, especially for gaming and movies and things like that. And I like the fact that it matches well with the ROG Ally. I like the fact that it works with the Dolby Access app, so you get a lot of control. And I think for the $99, that is where I saw the value in these, and that is where I could recommend them. But guys, that wraps up my video on the Asus ROG Cetra. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.